Welcome to the balance update for October the 2nd for StarCraft. It's a super easy one this week because there's not a great deal of changes. Look at that. Compared to the last patch, it's easy peasy. I mean, we can summarise essentially Blizzard decided to tone back on the macro mechanics. They're not removing them again. They've said point blank in their community feedback of October the 1st that they're not going to remove the macro mechanics again in the beta. They say that at some point after the full game is released, they're going to discuss a mechanism by which they can explore changes. But anyone who's got the heart set on macro mechanics disappearing is going to be disappointed. So there's that. I'm sort of on the fence really regarding it. I can see both standpoints. So yeah, they've tailed the effectiveness of the macro mechanics backwards though. So they reduced the effectiveness of Chrono Boost from 22.5% to 15%. Similarly, the Mule, they've changed the effectiveness of its gathering the minerals, and they've reduced the amount of lava spawn from 4 to 3. Pretty much they were talking about this in the feedback update, thinking like reducing lava injector 3 and Chronos boost decreased 15% or so, increasing the time mules need to spend while mining minerals, so it takes longer to turn each trip. So that's what they said. There's not much help to give us feedback on why macro mechanics should be removed. We clearly know there's pros and cons, blah blah blah. We'll think about it later. Ravager removed corrosive bile upgrade. I don't totally understand that, to be honest with you. The Zergs out there might understand it better, but I thought that was half the fun of the Ravager. Was that it was a really effective tanky unit, like literally like an outranger tank. Maybe it was too damaging. Terran seems to have had a little bit of a buff in general. They've increased the movement speed of Ravens from 3.15 to 3.85. So about a 33% increase there, which is obviously useful. I'm trying to think if there's any, if that ties with anything else. We've actually mentioned that in this patch notes thing. No, not really. So just an increase in movement speed of the Raven, and sniper ability delay reduced from 2.14 to 1.43. Just to get the Terrans a little bit stronger. And the Adepts, they were talking about they want to make them more effective in the late game, but not overpowered in the early game. So that's why they're bringing in an upgrade which you're able to get later on in the game, which reduces the attack period, which means that they give out more damage effectively, but their base health will be reduced from 9090 to 9060. So that should make them slightly less overpowered in the early game. Queen reduced spawn, yeah, so pretty much very little to say about it this week. Terrans have had a buff, and the macro mechanics of all races have been toned back with a bit of a poke at the Ravager and the Adept. I don't know what the story is with the Ravager, like I say, but I know the Adept in general was considered to be a little bit too strong. Is there anything more to add from these notes here? Yeah, like I say, first try reducing the health to see how it changes the early game use of adepts. For late game upgrades, we've been exploring various stat upgrades. Where we landed on now is an attack period reduction. Adepts are much better at worker line harassment versus zealots who are much better at structural harassment. Defensive cases are more interesting, with zealots warping in right on top of enemy units versus adepts needing to warp in with positioning in mind versus melee units. In larger combat, adepts will serve mostly as a source of damage versus zealots serving as meat shields, as they already do. We would like to see a great reduction in adepts just teleporting on top of enemy armies, and so good positioning of the shade ability will be more critical in engagements. We don't think we'll get the numbers perfect with this first pass, but we'll keep a close eye on the new numbers for the adept and tune accordingly as we go forward. They did also say that there won't be as many large changes, but there might be more frequent changes, like lots of little changes rather than lots and lots of infrequent big changes. So there you go, that's the patch notes for the 2nd of October. Like, comment, subscribe.